How's it going, American truckers? Old Snapper here again. Uh, Today we're going to talk about depression. Depression in trucking. Uh, Depression in trucking is an epidemic. It's horrible. Horrible. First, let's talk about how to identify it. And before we even get started in that, please hit that like button down below. It helps YouTube. It satisfies the algorithm within YouTube, so it'll help it show up for other drivers. Even if you don't find use from it, it may help somebody, it may save somebody's life, or at least encourage somebody to get some help. So please hit the like button, But anyway, let's get into this. Let's get into how to identify it. I see it online all the time. You can go in any trucking group at any point in time, pull up a post, and you're going to see depression. Some people think depression is someone who's sad and to themselves, and that's one version of it. Everybody's a little bit different, but there are certain characteristics that are that can be seen in someone suffering from depression. With depression comes insecurities. Insecurities about oneself, one's life choices, different things like that. Suicide in trucking is really, really high. Drivers spend a lot of time alone. They got nothing but time to think about all their life decisions, different choices that they've made. All right, so one way you can identify someone who is, and you look for these traits in yourself, it's hard to point them out to somebody else because you may make them feel worse. But one way to identify it is needing to put someone else down to make yourself feel better. Man, you'll see that all day long in these trucking groups. Someone will post something and it might be a general question, and guys will hop on there and they try to put him down because they're trying to step on him to pick themselves up. Or someone will make a post and they're stepping on somebody else to pick themselves up. We do the same thing in truck stops. You'll hear us talking bad about a certain company or a certain person or a certain driver. Those are signs of insecurities. Because you're leaning on putting someone else down to pick yourself up, which is a sign of depression. People that are insecure, that's the type of things that they do. They attack others. So when you see somebody doing that, maybe you need to pull them to the side and talk to them a minute. Fill them out. See if you can kind of say, hey man, you need to get some help. Another thing you might notice is drivers that don't shower. They don't take care of themselves very well. That's also a sign of depression. When you have depression, you don't have the energy, you don't have the drive or motivation to really get up and do anything. You just sit and waller in self-absorbed into, oh, poor, pitiful me, That's depression. When you see a driver who's got that stuff all stacked up in their passenger window and you can tell they can't even open their passenger door, a lot of times that's depression. And I hope some trucking companies see this, because when you got a driver that's doing that and their truck's an absolute wreck, and that driver comes in and you can tell that driver doesn't take care of themselves at all, maybe you need to pull them to the side and get them some help before that driver kills himself or flips out and hurts a bunch of people, because those are clear signs of depression. A driver that's real snappy, again, that goes back to the first point of having to step on other people. When you get real snappy, out of character, those are signs of insecurity as well. Now, there's a difference in debate and being snappy, but when you get snappy and you start putting someone else down or talking down on somebody or calling them names, those are all insecurities. And to be honest with you, when I make a video and I get I get a crazy post, or somebody makes a crazy comment, crazy off the wall comment, or cusses me, or something like that, I never respond to it because I know that's what it is. And my response might hurt their feelings. And then they may hurt themselves. And then I'm going to feel bad about it. So, to avoid it altogether, when someone does something like that, I just ignore it. I hit the like button and I go on. I don't care. I care about them and I hope they find some help. But it's not important enough to me to put them down back, because it's not affecting me. I know who I am, so it doesn't affect me any. And anyway, that's some ways to identify it, and that's some ways to see it. Now, what can you as a driver do if you're experiencing depression and insecurities? What can you as a driver do to fix it, correct it, or prevent it? I'm going to help you out with that. Number one is a gratitude journal. Gratitude journals are, man, they will change your whole outlook on life. It'll change your perspective. It'll change your mood. It'll change your attitude. It'll change how you feel. And it doesn't take a lot of energy. Just get a regular notebook. It can even be just a regular tablet. Every day at the end of your day, when you park your truck, write down 3 things specific to that day, not generalized things. 3 things specific to that day that you are grateful for. 3 things that went right that day. It could be I stopped at the shipper, and the shipper was, the shipper was really friendly, made me feel good, had a good conversation with the shipper. As you know, most shippers and receivers talk to us crazy, so that's a rarity. But it's something to be thankful for when you cross that. Could be something as simple as, hey, I was trying to get into traffic, and everybody was kind of blocking me in. Finally, a driver was nice enough to let me in. But what it does is it trains your mind. Over time, your mind will begin to focus on good things because it knows you're going to write them down at the end of the day. So you train yourself to look for the good and not the bad. Because your mind can only focus one way or the other. It's not going to go both. So it trains your mind to look for the good. That's one way you can prevent it. Another thing you can do is start eating healthy, eating right, drinking more water. What you put into your body has a lot to do with your, 1, how you look, and 2, how you're going to feel. So when we put a lot of junk food in our body, things that are quick to make, microwave dinners, we're not doing any good for our body. We're not doing any good for our mind. Okay? There's something else you can do. Start walking. Get out of your truck. Walk around the truck stop. Walk around your truck. If you don't want to get too far from your truck for whatever reason, walk around it. Just think and walk. This works especially if you got something that's on your mind and you can't get it off your mind. I promise you, 10 minutes of walking, you're not going to remember it. It's great for a person's mental health to walk. I wish truck stops would put more walking trails in and stuff like that. And I know a lot of drivers wouldn't use them. A lot of drivers are lazy. But the few of us that do, it's great. It's great for your body and it's great for your mind. All right. Something else you can do to help prevent depression. A lot of times when I do a restart, I try to schedule my restart and plan it out where it's in an area where there's things to do. Because I'm going to clean my truck up, get everything in order, and then I'm going to get away from the truck. I'm going to lock it up, and I'm going to town. You can get the town city bus, or just walk down the street, go watch a movie, take a taxi, take an Uber, take a Lyft. We have all kinds of options for getting to town. But you want to get away from the truck a little bit. Reset yourself. Get around people that are not in trucking. Get out there and have conversations with people that are not in trucking. In trucking, our conversation skills get real low because it centers around what we do every day, and that's it. And to be honest with you, that's not a lot, So getting away from the truck can do a lot for you. It can refresh you, make you more energized, all them kinds of things. Another thing you can do is exercise. When you exercise, it releases certain hormones into your blood. And that also helps your mind. So it can help uplift you if you're feeling depressed, anxiety, irritability, any of those kinds of things. And on my earlier comment where I said find somewhere to park to get out of the way, I'll tell you a great spot. If you work for a company that runs the West Coast, if you're at a truck stop anywhere between Seattle, Washington, and Portland, Oregon, you can catch city buses that run that whole West Coast. Those city buses all interlink. You can literally go from Seattle, Washington to Portland, Oregon on a city bus. It's cheap. It's like $1, $1.25. Every truck stop out there on the West Coast has got a bus stop right outside of it. Go out there, hop a bus. Doesn't matter if you know where you're going or not. Just get away from the truck. When you see something you like, pull the little string. It'll stop, hop off, go enjoy yourself. If you don't feel comfortable, get with another driver. Y'all both go do it. Be good for you. You see me around and I ain't doing nothing, I'll go with you. Just say, hey, Snapper, you want to go to town? I'll go to town. Love it. And it's good for the mind. Here's another thing you can do. You got Teledoc, Doctor on Demand. These services with insurance are really cheap. Without insurance, they're not that much, maybe 70, 80 bucks. You can get counseling over your phone. You can see a psychologist over your phone. You can Google psychologist over phone. They will talk to you. There's also suicide prevention hotlines you can call. But whatever the situation is and whatever level of depression you're at, try to get some help. If you can help yourself, do it. If you don't, it's just going to get worse. And this message is for you trucking companies out there. If you got a driver that's acting out of character, not normally like himself, this may be the issue. He may need a day off. He may need to come in and talk to somebody. Not always, but it may be the issue. So it might be worth taking the time. You might save that driver's life just by having a conversation with him. Bring him in, put some eyes on him, and see if he's taking care of himself or if he seems to be going downhill. Anyway, I hope this really helps. I hope this reaches out to somebody that may need it. I want y'all to know, Snapper's with you no matter where you're at. I'm always just a button away. You can watch one of my videos. I try not to put a whole lot of negative things into my videos to uplift people. I've been out here. I've seen drivers kill themselves. I was on a truck stop when a driver shot himself in the head once. I knew a driver that took a bunch of pills. He attempted to kill himself, but he didn't. He's in a nursing home now because he just had a stroke. But it's serious, guys and girls. It's serious. Need to take this serious. If you need help, get some help. Don't be ashamed. Our industry, it can just be that way. We spend a lot of time alone. Um, Sometimes we're not making a lot of money. It costs a lot to live. You know, we got things going on at home, or maybe we just don't have a home. Maybe we're living in our truck. But whatever the case is, man, we're a family. We stick together. All right. Y'all stick together out there. Like I said, please hit this like button so that it will come up for other drivers that may help somebody. Stay safe and keep it between the lines.